Have you ever wondered why a particular person seems to constantly pop into your mind? Whether it's an ex, a crush, or even someone you've only met once, it's as though they've set up a permanent residence in your thoughts without warning or explanation. This person keeps making surprise appearances in your mental space without any eviction notice. The thought of them keeps resurfacing, and you're left wondering what's going on. Is it love, obsession, or could it be something deeper that you haven't yet realized? It turns out that this phenomenon isn't just some random glitch in your brain's operating system. In fact, Carl Jung, one of the most brilliant minds in psychology, believed that when someone occupies your thoughts, it's no accident. In fact, it might be one of the clearest signs that you're about to learn something profound about yourself. So, what exactly is happening? Are these recurring thoughts just a quirk of the human mind, or do they hold a deeper, more profound meaning? Buckle up, because we're about to explore the fascinating world of Carl Jung's theories, including the shadow, Anima and Animus, projection, and synchronicity. By the end of this exploration, you may see that person in a completely different light, or maybe you'll realize it's not even about them at all. Carl Jung's theory. Carl Jung famously said, "Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes." His theory suggests that the human mind is like a labyrinth, with hidden passageways leading to treasures of self-discovery. Yet, most of us never venture into these dark corners of our psyche. Instead, we remain busy with the demands of daily life while our unconscious mind works in the background. According to Jung, when someone keeps appearing in your thoughts, it's not just some random coincidence. Instead, it's a signal, a wake-up call from the unconscious mind. Imagine your mind as an iceberg. The tip of the iceberg represents everything you're aware of, your conscious thoughts, feelings, and memories. But the massive portion of the iceberg hidden beneath the waterline represents your unconscious mind. Most of the important stuff, the repressed desires, unresolved emotions, and hidden fears, live down there, below the surface. So, when someone keeps popping into your mind, Jung believed it's because that person has triggered something buried deep within your unconscious. Maybe they said something that resonated with an old memory, or perhaps they embody something you wish you could be. According to Jung, these aren't mere accidents, they're signals. The unconscious mind is trying to get your attention. But don't worry. It doesn't mean you'll be haunted by these thoughts forever. It simply means it's time to pay closer attention to what your mind is trying to tell you. The shadow theory. Meet your shadow. Now, let's dive into one of Jung's most powerful concepts, the shadow. No, it's not the literal shadow you see on the sidewalk when the sun is low. Rather, the shadow is the part of your psyche that you'd rather not acknowledge. Jung described the shadow as everything you've repressed, denied, or ignored because it doesn't fit into your ideal self-image. But here's the fascinating part. The people who keep showing up in your thoughts might actually be reflections of your shadow. Let's say you admire someone's confidence. Perhaps, deep down, you struggle with self-doubt. Or maybe you find yourself drawn to their creativity because you've neglected your own creative expression. On the flip side, maybe there's someone who annoys you to no end, but they embody traits that you refuse to admit are a part of yourself, like arrogance or impulsiveness. Jung believed that our relationships with others are often mirrors of our relationships with ourselves. So, when someone occupies your thoughts, they might represent a piece of your shadow trying to get your attention. It's like your unconscious is saying, "Hey, remember me? We need to talk." Recognizing this dynamic can be incredibly powerful. Instead of obsessing over why you can't stop thinking about this person, you can ask yourself, what part of me are they reflecting? How can I grow from this experience? The shadow isn't something to fear, it's something to explore. As Jung wisely said, one does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Anima and Animus, the inner feminine and masculine. Let's now talk about two of Jung's most intriguing concepts, the Anima and the Animus. These archetypes represent the feminine and masculine aspects of our psyche, and they play a significant role in how we relate to others. The Anima is the inner feminine in men, while the Animus represents the inner masculine in women. But don't get too caught up in gender. These are symbolic representations that exist in everyone, regardless of their gender identity. So, what does this have to do with the person constantly residing in your thoughts? Well, according to Jung, when you're fixated on someone, it's likely because they resonate with your Anima or Animus. Maybe they align with your subconscious idea of a perfect partner, or they bring out qualities in you that you didn't realize were there. For example, you might find yourself drawn to their emotional depth, because it mirrors something you're craving in your own life. But here's the catch: sometimes, the anima or animus can create illusions. You might project an idealized version of this person onto them, seeing them not for who they truly are, but for who your unconscious wants them to be. This can lead to confusion or even frustration. Understanding this dynamic can be a game changer. It shifts the focus from, "Why am I obsessed with them?" to, "What part of me are they awakening?" The people who occupy your thoughts may be reflecting the most intimate parts of yourself. This insight can help you shift your focus from the external person to the internal aspects of yourself that need attention and growth. Projection. When you see yourself in others now, let's take a look at projection, which Jung believed was a key factor in why we obsess over certain people. Projection is the psychological process in which you take your own thoughts, desires, and fears and project them onto another person, as if they were the star of your own mental movie. For instance, let's say you admire someone's ambition. In reality, that might be a quality you wish you had more of. Or maybe you dislike someone because they remind you of something you fear about yourself, like being overly critical or emotionally distant. Your unconscious mind uses that person as a screen onto which it projects parts of your psyche that need attention. Here's the tricky part: because projection feels so real, it's easy to mistake these feelings for facts. You might think that this person is amazing or terrible, without realizing that you're actually just reflecting aspects of yourself onto them. Jung saw projection as a major opportunity for self-growth. When you catch yourself obsessing over someone, good or bad, pause and ask, "What am I really seeing here? What does this say about me?" By acknowledging your projections, you can start to reclaim those parts of yourself. You stop giving other people so much power over your thoughts and emotions. It's not easy, but as Jung said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. So synchronicity. It's not just a coincidence. Have you ever thought about someone only to have them reach out to you moments later? Or perhaps you've been thinking about someone for weeks, and then you randomly bump into them in the most unexpected place. It's as though the universe is winking at you or playing tricks on you. Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity, or meaningful coincidences. He believed that these occurrences weren't mere accidents, they were significant. Synchronicity, according to Jung, occurs when events are connected not by cause and effect, but by meaning. In other words, when your thoughts and external events align in a way that feels deeply significant, it's a sign that something larger is at work. Perhaps your unconscious mind is so focused on this person that it's influencing your perception of reality. Or maybe there's an unseen force linking your inner world with the outer world. Jung believed synchronicity wasn't just a random occurrence. It was a call to action, a moment to reflect on why this person keeps showing up in your life. Are they triggering an unresolved emotion? Are they representing a path you're afraid to take? Or perhaps they are simply reminding you of your own power to create meaning. Next time something synchronistic happens, don't dismiss it as coincidence. Take it as a nudge from the universe, or from your unconscious mind, to dig deeper. As Jung said, synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. Decoding your thoughts. How to make sense of it all now that we've explored Jung's theories, you're probably wondering, what can I actually do when someone won't leave my thoughts? Jung's ideas aren't just fascinating, they're practical tools for self-awareness and growth. Here are 3 steps to help decode what your mind is trying to tell you. 1. Reflect. Start by asking yourself, what emotions come up when I think about this person? Are you inspired by their confidence? Frustrated by their aloofness? Drawn to their sense of adventure? Pinpointing your feelings is the first step in understanding what they represent. 2. Analyze. Dig deeper into what those feelings mean. If you admire their creativity, it could be because you're craving more of that in your own life. If their rejection stings, it might be highlighting an old wound about self-worth. Try journaling or meditating on these questions to get to the heart of the matter. 3. Act to use these insights to grow. Maybe it's time to work on building confidence, embracing your creative side, or healing old emotional wounds. Remember, this isn't about changing the other person, it's about transforming yourself. By decoding your thoughts, you can turn a seemingly obsessive mental loop into a roadmap for personal growth. As Jung wisely said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. Our minds are like treasure maps. Every thought and emotion leads us closer to understanding who we truly are. So when someone keeps living rent-free in your head, don't ignore it. See it as an invitation to explore the depths of your unconscious, and unlock parts of yourself you didn't even know were there. Because in the end, it's not just about them. It's about you. The people who linger in our thoughts are often the keys to our own growth. So take a deep breath, dive in, and discover what your mind has been trying to tell you all along. If you enjoyed our videos, make sure to give them a like. And don't forget to subscribe to Philosmind for more thought-provoking ideas and deep insights.